Today we're going to be talking about why does your verse sound like a chorus, or vice versa. Why does your chorus sound like a verse? So let's dive in. Hey, my name is Steve Collum from thesecretstomusicsuccess.com. And today we're going to be talking about why does your verse or your pre-chorus sound like the other one? Why does your verse sound like a chorus? Why does your chorus sound like a verse? And if you use some of these steps, some of these little secrets that I show you, all of a sudden your songs, all of a sudden they come to life. All of a sudden it sounds legit, it sounds right, it sounds correct. And it's just a handful of these little points. But I remember the first time I learned some of these or tried some of these, and you just go to another level. All of a sudden your songs, all of it, they sound better than an amateur. They sound better than just a beginner. So these will take your songs to the next level. So let's dive straight in. So number one, the chorus needs to say one thing only. So in that chorus, you've got to make sure you're saying that one thing. Now, if you think about pop songs or whatever song it is, they might have a few lyrics, they might be describing a little bit, but it's all centered around that one thing. Nearly every line is focused on that one thing. And then at the end of the chorus, a lot of the times they'll just sum it up with because blah, 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 or whatever it is. And that's usually the title of the song. So you got to make sure your verse is saying one thing. The last thing you'd want to do is introduce a new character or say something new. You're expanding on everything you've actually said in the verses. So everything in the verses, you've been leading up to that chorus. And then when you get to the chorus, you say that one thing that the song is about. Let's say the song is about better together. It's better that I'm with you. So the chorus could be even so simple as whoa, it's better together when I'm with you. Whoa, it's better together when I'm with you. That's a super simple kind of chorus, but that's the idea. That's like I'm breaking it down to its super fundamental. So that's what you want to do. So then in the verses, you're going to be talking about what you're trying to say in that chorus. So you wouldn't say in the verses, you wouldn't even say anything about better. You wouldn't say anything about together. You're trying to point everything to the chorus. So that's a big thing lyrically that you really need to make sure that your choruses are saying that one thing and the verses are pointing to that. So number one, make sure your chorus is saying one thing only. And we've just looked at the lyrical, how to look at it kind of lyrically. What about melodically? Now, melodically, if you're going, you want to have something different. So in your verses, let's say your verses are da, or maybe it's just on one note, da 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 da. Maybe that's your verses. In your chorus, you don't go da 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 da. Don't do anything like that. Keep it different. Make sure you're doing something different. As an example, in that kind of case, if you're like da 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 da, in the chorus, you could be like da 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 da, and you could do something totally different. And it's jumping around because maybe you've gone one. Maybe it's all about creating contrast. So if in the verses you've got like da da da, you're not jumping around on your notes as much. Guess what you do in the chorus? You jump around. And so that's definitely one thing that will kind of change your verses, change it around so that you can kind of hear the difference. So make sure melodically you're doing something different. Now, a little tip for the melodies and stuff is, and of course you can break these rules whenever you like, but one of the tips that that I've used in the past is if you've got like a sad song, if you've kind of got a song that kind of, it's more of a somber kind of feel, your melody, if you want to express that in the melody as well, have your melody kind of go down. Have it going down as you go to the chorus. Maybe start on a high note and go down, or make sure your end of your phrases kind of go down a little bit. And it gives it kind of a sad, more of a somber kind of feel. Now, vice versa, if you go up, it's going to give it more of a bright, more of a positive kind of feel. And that's what you're echoing what the statement of the song is in your verse and in your melody. So that's super key, and I use that a lot of the time. There's no way you would say, I'm feeling really good. It's not very authentic. Instead of saying, I'm feeling really good, all of a sudden that sounds more authentic than the other one. So that's a great thing to ask yourself when it comes to the melody. So another thing that you'll want to check is if you started the verse on let's say you started the verse on the 1, so meaning on the first beat. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where the verse is, and then I dive straight into the verse on the 1. And then in the chorus, you say 1, and you start on the 1 again on the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the chorus, and I'm singing. So that's going to be a big changing. I could even say the same words, and it'll feel different if I start on a different time. Check this out. I'm going to start on the 2 for the verse, and I'm going to start on the 1 for the chorus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This is the verse, and I'm singing right here to the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the chorus, and I'm singing right here. So all of a sudden, you would have noticed I've gone up in the melody, but I definitely started on a different beat. Now, this is a big deal. You've got to make sure that you do this. This is another awesome. This is a bit of a game changer. I remember when I first learned this, and this one's huge. You got to write this down. I echo this one a lot. You might hear me say this a lot, but just using this little tip, all of a sudden your songs it's the easiest way to kind of break up your different sections in the song. So coming back to the verse, you know that those verses are pointing towards the chorus, so you got to make sure you do that. Now, one thing that you've got to create in your songs is the contrast. So number 2, the contrast. So when you've got like a verse and let's say it's very wordy. Let's say it's just lots of words. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4, lots of words, singing lots of words, you got lots of words. If you change the chorus to be something different, like maybe holding on, so maybe you're like, oh, so going from a verse to a chorus, to the chorus, oh, all of a sudden it totally sounds different, and no longer does that verse sound like the chorus. So that's a big tip. And so one thing you'll find a lot of people do that maybe they want a da 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 da, maybe they want that in the verses, and they also want that in the chorus, da 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 da. Maybe they want lots of parts in the chorus and something just happening all the time. And so that's totally okay. What you need to do is in between you put a pre-chorus. And so what if you changed that up and you went da 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 for the verse, da 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 to the pre-chorus, oh, to the chorus, da 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 da, lots of words again, and all of a sudden it changes. So, and as we were talking about melody before, you would have just noticed when I just sang that, then there's a melody. I was constantly going up to that chorus, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If you listen to a lot of songs, the song constantly builds and it constantly goes up to the highest part in the chorus. One little, this is kind of like a bonus tip as well. One little thing that you can kind of add to your choruses or save it, because you're trying to get to the point. It's kind of like telling a joke. You say the joke, but then you give the punchline, or you give it at the end. You don't do it first. So in saying that, you don't want to hit that note at the beginning of the song, unless you start with a chorus. But you don't want to hit that money note or the note of the chorus. Let's say it's da, say that's the note. You don't want to hit that da in the verses. So you want to be like da 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 da, and then you're up there. So you want to save that note for the chorus. So nobody's heard it yet, and all of a sudden it's a brand new note that nobody's heard yet. And they're already into that. It's like the chorus. If the chorus comes in with that brand new note, it's a new thing. It doesn't sound like the verse. So awesome, guys. So there's just a bunch of little tips that are really going to help you with your writing to make sure that your verses don't sound like your choruses, which I know is a super common problem, especially when I was starting out. My songs all sounded like it was just one big wall. I couldn't tell where the chorus was or where the verse was. And so let's just recap. So number 1 is the chorus needs to say one thing. Make sure it is saying one thing. Number 2 is the contrast. You have to have contrast between the different parts. Very important. Number 3 is have a pre-chorus change in there. And we just talked about the pre-chorus. So awesome. So I know this has been really, really helpful to you guys. Go ahead and practice it now. Go ahead and write your songs. This is your call to action. This is what you need to do. You need to go ahead and write this. You got to use these tips, use these points to write and practice this. This is super key. This is big. This is a big deal. You got to do this. And so go ahead and write a song. And if you want any pop tips or pop songwriting tips or even other mixing tips or other songwriting tips, head over to my website. The link is below, and download a free PDF. It's a free thing. I just want to give you guys a bunch of tips to kind of get you going. That would be awesome. So, and I know you'll love it. And so go ahead and give us a thumbs up on this video if you liked it. And YouTube loves it when people give the thumbs up, because what it does is brings the videos to the top of the feed. And of course, subscribe and click on the little bell icon, and then you'll get notifications when we put out another awesome video like this that really helps you. So awesome, guys. Well, we'll see you in the next one, and have fun songwriting.